6 to 7 life cycle. But guys, remember, these are not the limited tools. I just pick up this image to show you that okay, this is the way that we can use. But actually into the market, a lot of tools are available for any of these sections actually. So for the coding, you can the Git, Jira, SVN Tortoise, for the build Maven, and other kind of the maybe the these things I can say. Scripting language you can use for the building part as well. So you can be start learning as a DevOps as a beginner that what is the meaning of the DevOps. So okay, I'll pick up one more thing. Why the DevOps come? DevOps is the combination of the two words, Dev and Ops. Dev means development, Ops means operation. So it means if a person who know the development and the operations means this thing, enhancement and the modding, then I say that this guy is the DevOps guy, and these are the tools part of that particular DevOps. So any question till this point? Your silence is saying that your everything is all clear, not a clear as well. So guys, please be open for the questions, and I want to tell you one more thing in this
Atulji,
discussion.
Atulji,
Ji sir, ji sir.
can we take questions at the end?
Sure, sir. No problem. No problem, sir.
No problem. Huh?
We can.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
And I was telling one more thing, guys. Please, in this discussion, if you ask any question, even though it is been not the right question, nobody will going to be scold you at the end of the day. Don't worry, even your sir will not scold anything, because the thing is that if you ask question, definitely then you will can learn more things. So don't stop asking the questions. Please note down your questions. In the end, at the end of the session, we will definitely take these questions later. Okay, very much important point, and the very much important technology at point of time, or I say the methodology at point of time, or the way to do the data work is called the data science. I write it here, the ability to take data, to be able to understand, to process, to extract value. Guys, there is a value, it has a very meaningful term here. From it to visualize it to communicate it, that's going to be a huge important skill in the next decades. Okay, now if I ask a question, or maybe I'll take a random thing from my end. Can you tell me how much people or how much population are using Android? You say maybe a billion people, 10 billion people, 7 billion people, 9 billion people, 10 billion people. So how you get that data? How you come to on that conclusion? Here the things come, the data science. This isn't just a normal example I'm putting, but data science is very much I can say a hot cake into the present market, because everyone want to play with the data actually. If you know the data, you can influence the public. If I know that how many people are more than between 18 to 25 in my village, so that I can take their vote, I need to be work on the data science. And what are their interest, which thing they like. So suppose if you say that I'm on the Facebook and I'm always be, I like only one video, that is be comedy. You will be surprised after 10 seconds or 20 seconds, you will again get a comedy kind of a clip on your Facebook feed. How this coming? This is coming from the data sciences. So they analyzing and come to the place that okay, Atul Grover is more interested into the hilarious or the comedy clips. So give let give him that particular feed only. So these are the steps involved into the data science. First, we have to prepare the data. Then we have to do data modeling, and then we have to data analyze, and finally we have to put data analysis. Then we have to put the data actually into the picture. So in the next slide, we'll see that how this data science actually work. So you can see data acquisition. Acquisition means I need to collect the data, then data preparation, then data modeling, then deploy and maintain, then visualize, and then again data analysis. Now I take a normal example. Definitely you guys need to be prepared for your seminars into the colleges. It is a part of the curriculum. I am sure not the everyone, but the final students have to prepare some seminar or the present some seminars. So the day when you get a seminar topic, you people start getting the data acquisition. It means for from every source, YouTube, Gmail, or Google, or any website, you start downloading the data. It can be valuable, it cannot be valuable, it related or it's not related. You start putting the data downloading at your end. Then you do the data preparation. What to do in this area, you will segregate the data which is be useful, which is not useful for me. So now unuseful data, you cut it out. Okay, this is not my part. Then you put the data modeling. Data modeling means now as per the topic's content, you start with the data modeling. Okay, introduction will be this, type will be this, procedure will be this, process will be this, advantage will be this, disadvantage will be like this. Then you start putting this data into your file, the document file actually, and start maintaining. Every day you read something and you start maintaining. Okay, let's remove this data and put something else. And then you visualize, when I present this data or when I present this seminar in front of my friends, how they visualize this, will they able to understand or not? If they understand, then fine. If they not understand, then you again go for the data analysis. What should I need to correct into this data? So this is a normal example I'll pick up from the seminar, but in the market, this is not example actually. In the market, we have to do the data acquisition, data entry, then we have to process data mining, data clustering, data modeling, then we have to analyze, okay, how much can be done these things. So if you say that people are predicting that after when the COVID-19 will be end, maybe in India unemployment rate will be increased by this much rate. How they're predicting? Because they have the data capture and they have the data processing at the place, they have the predictive analysis. This can be happen. Maybe after 2021, India will be a more a big power, because every company is coming from China to India. So India will be more rich, people will be get more employment, people income will be increased. So that is the analyzing, they're putting the analyzing part, and they're communicating by the reportings. They're analyzing the reports from the past reports, they're preparing the future reports as well, and the current reports as well. So if you see nowadays that like our chief minister, so not chief minister, basically finance minister or the our defense minister, they're coming and announcing some packages for our for our people of the country people, and they're putting some reports that this much loan has been waived off, or this much has been deferred payments. So how this coming? Because they have the data in the place, and after analyzing this data, they're coming with the communication part. So guys, now you have to be think that if in your family you have the 5 or 6 people and everybody is using their own phone, and on everyone phone they have some their own likes and dislikes. So you can say after after half a month or 1 month, when COVID will be end, these people will be perfect in this particular stuff. So suppose nowadays people are start making their or the baking the stuff at home by using the YouTube channel. They're baking the golgappas, cake, doklas, jalebi, everything. So now you can say after 1 week or 1 month, these people, these guys will be perfect, because they now you have a data that 70% of my 70% of time my mother working onto this baking stuff only. So after down the line, maybe 1 month or 2 months, she will be perfect in this stuff. So by the data and analyzing and the processing, you are getting this information. So this is the way that data science actually work into the practical into the world actually. Next one is the RPA. RPA is basically robotic process automation. In simple word, when you do the automation, when you do anything automatically, it become the robotic process automation. The normal example I can say, uh, like when you have to be okay, let's take a normal example. Earlier in the companies, when we people join, we have to fill a form on the paper, then we go to the some our desk, and they say, okay, fill this form again, you will get your ID, employee ID, email ID, everything. But nowadays what happening that they automate this process. As soon as the employee done the onboarding, he submit a form, his email ID, his employee ID, his desk number, his contact number, his desk phone number is automatic generated. They're not generating manually, they are just putting some software, some script on the place which do all this stuff. So if you say here that generally any desk job in our industry involves tasks that are repetitive in the nature. So now let's take a normal example. When you call to someone nowadays, when you call to, maybe you call your friend, you get a message into the starting, hello, in the COVID-19 situation, avoid the do the social distancing, don't stay home, stay safe. So how these things are coming? Not everyone is going to pick up your call and these things say this thing to you first, and then you writing your call to the particular person. They put this into the place as a automation. As soon as you're dialing a number, click on the dial pad, they start the IVR message. That is called the automation basically. Or when, or if you say that you're calling to Amazon, maybe let's say you are calling to Amazon, Amazon say my all customers are busy. You can leave a voice message and we will get back to you. And when I leave a voice message and I get a call after 15 minutes, it means there is some automation in the place. My message has been recorded into that particular place and converted that particular stuff into a record, and then it come back to me as a call. So RPA or the robotic process automation allow you to automate such routine and repetitive tasks. So now what you can do, you can ask your teacher, sir, anything which you are doing on the regular basis, every time you have to do. So maybe like this thing, like every day your sir need to be send a meeting invite by 9 o'clock in the evening, so that by tomorrow session will be confirmed and the message should be go out. So you can ask us and automate that stuff. Sir, give me the link only, or you have to just click the link here and click enter. It will automatically trigger the message to the everyone into the SMS form, into the WhatsApp form, into the Gmail as well. So your work will be over. Your work, manual work will be over to copy paste the message into every WhatsApp group. It will be over now. So this is called the basically robotic process automation. And nowadays this is also a good place in the market to be learn and grow, because every company want to automate their processes. They want that less people should work in my company, or people should work in my company, but they should work into the more important topics instead of this the repetitive task. So in this manner they use the RPA. Okay. Next one is in another important point called the AI, that is the artificial intelligence. So I'm sure that many of you guys are using iPhone as well. Even I'm using the Android, and Android has the Google Assistant. I just press one button and say, hello Google, it bring information for me. Hello Atul, please dial Dr. Madhav Raul number, and Google dial it for me. Google Assistant dial it for me. How they're doing? They're doing from the artificial intelligence. They go and search into my in contact diary. They find the doctor's Madhav Raul number and dial it for me. But what is this meaning? That what is the AI stands here, that artificial intelligence is the branch of computer science that emphasize the development of intelligence machine. It means we are building the machines so much intelligent that they can work as a human work. So robots are the best example of the AI, I can say at one of time. Siri, Netflix. In the Netflix, how the Netflix work basically, suppose on the Netflix you watch Mirzapur and you like that particular series, then you watch some other web series and you like that as well. So next time Netflix give you the same kind of the series only, because that is becoming at as the basis of your likes or dislike. Amazon Echo, Amazon Echo, like Alexa, you can say, Alexa, can you play a song for me? If you, maybe in the morning I get up and I say, Alexa, please play the Aarti, and Alexa play for me. Tomorrow morning when I get up, and before I say, maybe Alexa can bring a Aarti for me, because she know that between 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Atul always listen maybe the Aarti or the devotional songs only. So that is the example of the AI. So people who are be specifically who are very much interested into the in the or into the computer sciences, are interested into the machine part, this is a good place for them. So you can automate anything. So maybe you can set up anything in your phone as well by the artificial intelligence, and they can work for you into that particular sequence. So this is the basically example of the AI. Siri, Netflix, Echo is the example of the AI which is behaving like a human being, but it is actually a machine for you. So you can try with the Siri, because a lot of people interact with the Siri nowadays. Even sometime when I have my friend have an iPhone, I interact with the Siri a lot of time. Siri, can you play songs for me? Siri, how are you? Siri, how's the weather outside? Siri, can you have a lunch with me? So these are the things I interact with the Siri, and the way Siri reply to me is the same way that human being has to be react on that particular stuff. Next one is that Internet of Things, that is called the IoT. This is the thing when, because nowadays everyone is interconnected with each other, every device is connected with each other on the internet. You, me are connected because of internet. If we remove the internet, there's a no purpose of having a good phone or a Zoom or laptop, because there's no internet, so we cannot interact. But nowadays people need a so much comfortable in their life that they want, if I start from home, I start from office, and before I reach to home, my AC should be on and my room should be chill. That is my requirement. That is a human being requirement. So at that time they come into the Internet of the Things. It means they just press one button in their on their phone, and your AC will be started at your home, and we start chilling at your at the things. So this is another example for this one is that, like, I download the Airtel remote on my mobile phone, and I'm operating the mobile phone as the remote for my Airtel, because I can do anything. I can touch, I can speak, and it is connected with the internet only. Wi-Fi only is the biggest thing. So Internet of Things is the concept connecting interrelated computing devices over the internet. So simple funda, you can connect anything from the internet into your on the devices. Maybe a normal example, a light bulb can be switched on or from the miles away using the mobile device. So now you have to be think that how you can relate your mobile phone with your light bulb, so that when in the evening you are sitting in your farmhouse or maybe in the farm, you can switch one button from your mobile phone and your light should be on in the home. Simple thing, right? So this is one of the example. You can use the networking, you can use the sensor, you can use the cloud, you can use the big data, you can use the artificial intelligence to build these kind of the systems. That is for the IoT. That is the best example, guys. I have ever seen that, because nowadays what happened that when I was searching for a flat in Pune, when I go to the builders, they show me, they say, sir, we have a smart flat. What is the meaning of the smart flat? Sir, we give you the one display on the entrance of the home. Just click on the display, lights for every room will be started. If you click one button, the AC will be started. If you click this button, your Soi exhaust fan will be, or the kitchen fan will be started. So these are the things come into the smart things. And how they're connected? They're connecting with the networking. They're connecting with the sensors. They're connecting with the cloud and the big data. They're analyzing the stuff, and then they're putting everything into the together. So basically in IoT, two things are main. One is the hardware, one is the software. For hardware, you need the sensor. So if you want to build this example, switch on, switch off, you need to put some sensors as well. Microcontrollers, servers. And in softwares, you can use the data collection, which we discussed earlier, that data science, you can see that how I can pass my data from my phone to the my sensor, and then it switch on my light. And these are some common application, like for the environments we're using healthcare application, we're using educational application like e-learning, educational lab, and government applications which are using IoT. So now a video conferencing, it's like an example of the IoT. Everybody is connecting on the phone and we can see everyone on a single place. So this is the example of the IoT. So now you can connect your phone, your laptop, your tablets, your laptop, your TVs, everything you can connect through the IoT with the other devices. But you have to build that system. This is a technology only. But the thing is that you have to build the system by using the hardware or the softwares. Now is the big next term is the big data. Big data is the basically, as the term says, big data means a lot of data. It is something like the data science, but the way of function, the working of this big data is different from the data sciences. So big data basically say that any data which is a lot of in the massive volume, it can be structured and unstructured way, and help you to build some the give you some important information. So now I can say, like, Dr. Madhav sir, or maybe Dr. Javed sir is there. They people start having they have the data of the last 10 years from the of the college. They start building something, sir. By this particular area, guys or the students are topper for us. These guys are not a topper, but these are the middle class, or not middle class. They are the good student, but not the brilliant student as well. So they are getting this data, so that next time when these guys, these kind of students come into the college, they can put a lot of emphasis on that students, and they can help them to grow in a better manner. So that is the basically concept of the big data, can be structured or can be unstructured. For teachers which are getting data from the college, it's a structured manner because everything has been stored in a proper manner. So like if we say everything you do online is now stored and tracked as a data. If you go to the market, it's a data. If you buy something, it's a data. So you can actually practical this thing. If you search something on the Google map and you go there, and when you came to home, Google asks you, can you give a feedback for that particular restaurant? Atul, you visit this restaurant, can you give a feedback? It means they are recording everything for you. And for Google, it is a data only, nothing else. It is a data for Google, and by that data they are seeing your way of working, so that they can give you more options. Like for me, I'm a pure vegetarian, so I always search for the vegetarian restaurant, veg restaurants only. Okay, so when I put in Google veg, so it give me pop up, this is a pure veg, this is a non-veg as well. It means by my interest, Google is giving me the lot of information now. And how the Google get this thing? By the way of the big data format, they are storing everything in their database as a data for me and giving me back on my like and dislike. But when you work in a big data, you have to remember this 7 V's. Volume, the volume. So the thumb rule say don't take a lot of data which you cannot even measure it. So take a data which good into the amount, good in the volume, but you are able to do the some analysis on that particular part. Velocity, generation of data and organization, ability to processing it, accelerating. It means how you can segregate or how you can accelerate, how you can make it data into the better format is become the velocity. Variety, how much data or how what are the ways of getting the data, type of data. I'm getting a data from the mobile, I'm getting a data for the laptop, I'm getting from the web servers, I'm getting data from the web searches, I'm getting data from the Siri, I'm getting the data from the TVs, I'm getting data from the Google search, everything. So you have to see the variety of the data, maybe photo, audio, video, free text, everything. Variability, the meaning of the word unstructured data can be changed based on the context. So now I see that I need the data only as per the COVID-19 context. So maybe I can say from the last 1 month, the air pollution rate has been reduced. The volume of the expenditure on the oil has been reduced. The roads are clean. The air is very much pure. That is saying that I am taking this data into the context on the COVID-19 only. But if I take a normal life example, sorry, there's a lot of air pollution. There's a lot of traffic onto the road because the context has been changed now. Velocity, basically different data types and data sources, and then we have to be club that according to the and make it as a good quality data and systematic data. Visualize, when you do all these things, then it should be in a format where you can actually visualize your data. Is it giving any fruitful information or not? And finally, the value means when you get something from data which help you to make a decision or help you to build a decision is called the value of that particular data. So that is called the data must be combined with rigorous processing and analysis to be useful. So after doing it last 10 years data, Dr. Madhav and Dr. Another teachers from your college come on the conclusion that if we concentrate on the students coming from the XYZ villages, our records will be definitely shoot up and everybody in our college will be a brilliant student. So by analyzing the data, they are coming to that value. And when the 1 year they spend their time on those students, the result will be yes, positive. Then they say, yes, we are getting the right information, right value from the data which we get from the colleges. Okay, so this is the almost second last slide for me now. Cloud computing. So as of now, you see that everything which we discuss is basically on the internet or on the cloud or on the data part. So cloud computing, basically when you store something on the cloud, and nowadays it is very much important. How and why I'm saying